Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the manifestation, the ultimate manifest station podcast. I always have to remember to say it correctly, how I wrote it. Um, Hope you guys are fantastic from the east, the west, the north, and the south, and in between those places, whether you're listening to me now or listening to me down the road in the future. I'm happy to have you here. I'm happy that you are ready to feel more grounded, to feel more of the, not only just the psychology, but the actual spirit of manifestation itself. And that's what we're going to get into today. So, we're discussing, or getting into discussing, the psychology of manifestation from the heart. Okay, so a lot of times we are manifesting with our thoughts, which is not a bad thing and by any stretch, right? Because to truly understand manifestation is the first thing you have to know is that thoughts are electric. Okay, thoughts are electric. Feelings are magnetic, right? So the thoughts are like the spark and the feelings get the fire going, which is why it's so important to include the heart in any manifestation that you desire to have. So when I say manifestation, I understand that manifesting is something coming into physical form, but I'm saying it in a sense before it's actually realized or revealed within that form, right? So this is just an opportunity for you to understand what the most important aspect to getting whatever it is that you choose to manifest to come in the most, one, easy, and two, in the most fulfilling way possible. And that really comes down to connecting with the heart, right? And so on a different podcast, or a different episode rather, we talked about the power of compassion as it relates to manifestation. And so this episode just kind of piggybacks on that because compassion is, I feel like, the emotion of the universe, the feeling of the universe, right? Which is deeply rooted in an unconditional, unlimited sense of love, right? So when we shift to compassion, immediately what happens is we drop into our hearts and we sync our hearts with our minds, right? It's one thing to have the heart, and it's another thing to have your heart and your mind in alignment, right? Because that's where the whole idea of manifestation comes from. Thoughts, electric, feelings, emotions, magnetic, right? And so if you're using your heart in something, or if your heart is involved with something, by how drawn to it you are. I just got into to numbers and numerology the other day, and I just can't put it down. I just can't put it down. And so for me, the emotional draw of feeling in tune, in harmony. Once again, I like to use the word grounded, because feeling grounded in the universe and understanding, what it is that you're becoming day after day by looking at the way the energy of numbers is set up is absolutely so enticing for me. And so I just desire to do it. I find myself this morning, I'm lying in bed and I'm thinking about how these numbers add up to produce a certain type of energy. And now, it's a bit obsessive, but it's good because what I'm doing, and I think this is the most awesome aspect of it all, what I'm actually doing is I'm finding myself in positions to really test the energy of everything around me, to really test the energy of everything around me, and to really kind of tap into, okay, what is this doing? What is this offering me right now at the moment as it integrates with my own energy? And so because that desire, which comes directly from the heart, is so strong, it's producing, it's manifesting all of these wonderful things and all these connections to see how things fall into place. And it's the most epic thing possible. And I have a prime example for you to show how this really works. And it will definitely lead you to higher ground. It'll put you on higher ground when it comes to you manifesting whatever it is that you desire to manifest, because it's really quite amazing. So I want to, my good friend from college, and then also in New Orleans, Antonio, who is really doing some amazing work, like resetting the nervous system and stuff like that, and just really changing lives. I just find that to be so amazing. But he sent me a message the other day, and it was just, it's so amazing. It's so amazing. So he basically said, "Hey, brother, hope all is well with you." Or he said, "I know all is well with you. I just wanted to share a dream I had with you that you were in. I was in a big city. It felt like China or Japan, and you were on a billboard on the side of a bus that was promoting a movie you were a lead in. It was a picture of you and the movie title, etc., etc. Just thought I'd share it with you. It was a blockbuster feature film." Okay? So, in just knowing that means nothing. But then, what really kind of like made this manifestation so much greater, right, was that it contained so many elements of energy. And when I say that, so just for instance, like when I say acting resonates at like a number 3 energy or number 9 energy. This is kind of like numerology, not to get too far off, but certain things resonate at certain numbers of energy. And everything that he told me within that dream resonated with the numerical energy for that day, right? And so what this told me is that anything my heart is into is going to amplify in its ability to manifest. It's going to amplify in its ability to manifest. So once again, we've been talking a lot about, principles, but also putting those principles into practicality. And so, it's important to understand that. And it took me years to really get this, that, manifestation and spirituality and all that stuff is great, but there has to be a practice of putting it into play in order for it to show up in a powerful way. And so, what I wound up doing in order to just practice stuff is beginning with intentions, but also, writing stuff down on a piece of paper, on a laminated piece of paper, if you have the time to get it laminated, and just carrying it around with me, right? Just carrying it around with me and understanding that I'm carrying the energy of that thing, because the name of that thing carries an energy, just like I, you, and 7.6 other billion people, their names carry a certain vibrational signature, right? So that's one way to put it into practice. Another way is just by basically making it a point to live from compassion as much as you possibly can, right? as much as you possibly can, making it a point to live from compassion. And here is why. So, compassion comes directly from the heart. When you live in compassion, and I can tell you this because part of who I am is all about compassion and kindness. There's a saying they used to say, wear your heart on your sleeve, right? You wear your heart on your sleeve. And that's pretty much what it's like. That's pretty much what it's like. And so what I find to be so terrific about that is that I'm always open and receptive, not to mention I'm empathic, so I can feel. I'm very sensitive to energies, but the compassion is almost this welcoming, dynamic energy to every single thing you encounter. Now, sometimes that can feel a little bit uncomfortable. Sometimes it's the best thing you can ever really imagine happening or unfolding, right? So start by living from compassion. And if you don't know what it is to have compassion, think about anybody close to you who has died. And if you are a sensitive person, it won't even need to be anybody that's close to you. When I read about people dying tragic deaths or just dying in general, as much as I accept the fact that it's part of life, I feel so much compassion for them and for their families, right? So much, to the point sometimes it even puts me in tears, right? So you may be asking, well, how does that relate to me manifesting? And it's so funny because I look down and I see the shift button on my computer, and that's exactly what I wanted to say. Is it shifts you. It shifts you from a place. See, what happens, what happens is when we're in our minds, we can oftentimes, and this happens to everybody, we can oftentimes get caught up in being completely self-centered, right? We can get caught up in being completely self-centered. And so instead of being self-centered, we want to ensure that we're heart-centered, because by being heart-centered, everything we need is taken care of just by us looking towards being open to what the world is giving us as a reflection. Right? Does that make sense? Okay. So once again, self-centered, you kind of get caught up in the easiest way to get attached to stuff. And we know attachment leads to nothing in manifestation. That's like manifestation 101. It's not about getting attached to any degree towards anything whatsoever. But what heart-centered does, heart-centered, being centered in your heart feels more like somebody is holding you like a baby, holding you in their arms, holding you by the hand. And that's the divine source that's doing that. And when you feel that loved, when you feel that protected, when you feel as if there is nothing that is holding you back, right? Or there's nothing that's creating fear. And that's another big thing. It frees you up. It frees your energy up. That's what living from the heart is. Before I even just take a moment to get out of bed, the very first thing I say is, dearest God in me, lead me to my heart's truest desires on this day. Whatever that is for my heart, lead me to my heart's truest desires on that day. And here I am, podcasting, one of my heart's desires, right? I'm going to be doing other stuff. That's a part of my heart's desires. So it's so very important to have the opportunity, have the ability to say, I'm going to free myself up by living through compassion, right? And then from there, once you reach full compassion, and you'll know because there'll be a calmness, there'll be a peace coming over your body. Because contrary to popular belief, the stuff that you desire manifests when you're relaxed, right? It's when you're relaxed that all these things can come in and flow into you because you're not tightened. You're not, on the offense. You're just in receiving mode. You're allowing is a better way to put that. And just by allowing and being completely in compassion, anything you put out there that is in your highest good is going to manifest, and it's going to manifest in the most wonderful way possible. It just is. That's how it is, because compassion, once again, is the emotion of the universe. So, in getting to the heart, the psychology of manifestation with the heart, all you need to do is start with compassion. Wherever it may be, start with compassion. You could look out your window right now and see a homeless person or see somebody that's stressed out and just feel compassion for them. And tap into that feeling. Tap into that feeling. And hold on to it the entire day, because here's one thing I can tell you about compassion that is something a lot of people don't know. It is the greatest healing power in the universe. Of course, it would be the emotion of the universe. It's the greatest power, healing power within the universe. Something hurts on you, take a moment and go lay in your bed, lay on your couch, lay in a chair, close your eyes, and feel compassion for like 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes, and I guarantee you will feel better because of it. Because that's what compassion does. It frees up any tension or tight energy. And that's all you really want. That's all you really want for yourself. Right? That's all that matters. It's all that matters. Okay? And then from compassion, what I'm going to do right now as we close the podcast is just set the intention. And when you're setting an intention, you always want to set the intention by having, once again, the heart and mind aligned. Okay? The heart and mind aligned. And how I like to do that is I'll put my middle finger on my third eye and then my other middle finger on my other hand on my chest. Okay? And so I'm going to do an intention for us, an intention statement. But what I want you to do, and you can get into the habit of doing this, I'm going to give you just a moment to just really connect to some form of compassion. It can be compassion for yourself. If you're going through a lot, I understand how tough that can be. But have compassion for yourself. Compassion for a family member. Compassion for our nation, compassion for the world, compassion for all the violence, whatever it is, feel compassion. I'll give you a few moments to do that. Okay, and then what I want you to do is just take your middle finger on your right hand, place it on right between your eyebrows, because that's where your third eye is, your mind center, and then take the other hand and take your middle finger and place it in the center of your chest, pretty much on your sternum. Okay, and you're just going to apply a slight amount of pressure with that. Just a slight amount of pressure. And you're going to take 3 deep breaths real quick, okay? I'm not going to do that because I'm going to just be breathing into the mic, but I'm going to allow you to take 3 deep breaths, and I'm just going to explain what this is doing. Good. So as you begin to relax, what you should feel is a calmness, right? So you're focused, you're honed into that compassion, and you're drawing the awareness to the heart center and to the mind center. And what that's doing is that's hooking, that's aligning those areas together, it's connecting them. You might even feel a little bit of pressure and energy run through those centers while you're doing this. Okay? And so once you are in that state of compassion and you feel that sense of peace, I want you to think of something you intend to do. It could be today, it could be for the year, it could be for the month, whatever it is. I want you to think of that intention. Right? So once you got that, feel into it. While still keeping your hands in place, feel into it. How does it feel? Does it feel like ease? Does it feel like joy? Does it feel like happiness for you? Because this is an ideal situation for you to see what Spirit is telling you about this as it relates to your energy. Right? Okay, so just hold on to that. And then once you got the feeling, once you can feel it in your heart, keeping your fingers in place, I'm going to set a manifestation. Hopefully I'll set a manifestation for you. I'm going to set an intention for us all, and then we'll move from there. Dearest God in me, thank you, first and foremost, benevolent Spirit, for allowing us all to come together right now, and even those far off into the future. It is our intention to easily and effortlessly manifest the thing that each and every person is holding within their hearts in compassion, your emotion, the universe's emotion. We ask that this come in the most comforting, joyful, easiest way possible that is in our highest good and the highest good of all concerned. Father, you know the thing that resonates the most with the heart and mind, combined and connected in each and every person. We ask that you meet us halfway with the compassion and the love and the intention that we're offering under grace in a perfect way. And so it is. Take a deep breath. Wowzers. So you can kind of see that just by doing that, all of a sudden the heart and the mind become in sync. It's tearing up my heart when I'm with you. You know, I couldn't resist. I said in sync, and then I just thought about that song. Oh my gosh, that's too funny, but you know. Oh, I couldn't resist. But guys, I want to thank you for joining me. Look, that's my gift to you. Use that whenever you can. And the biggest thing you have to remember is just don't rush through it. You know, take your time with it and allow that to really open you up to the beauty of who you are. And that's truly what counts. Just open up to the beauty of who you are, because your manifestation is just an aspect of you. So have the courage to go after whatever it is that you desire. And I promise you, nature will create the path for you to discover that manifestation. And it starts with the heart and the mind being aligned, filled with compassion, and then having your intention in place. Anything is possible at that point. Guys, have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for joining me. It is always a pleasure. Take care. We'll talk soon. Bye-bye.